Hello, everyone. This is Meena Puri, 8 p.m. Just have a live session on any questions and conversations about what's happening in these times. And we will have a guided meditation towards the end. So if you are around, please chime in. And you can post your questions in the comment section below. And that we can have a conversation about. I'm just typing out a message here to all of you. So earlier I had posted a video about my perspective. I don't have any, special information. I just have perhaps my own perspective and intuition, and another way of looking at the current circumstances. And what I can do, and I'm here to do, is to address the stress, the fear, and the anxiety that's currently going on. And this is the work that I can perhaps be of guidance and support for you. So if you are available, join in. So I particularly yellow, I have color, and so it's good to do whatever little things that you can do to make you happy, that lift your spirit and lift the morale. Whether it's, picking a different color or lighting a candle or putting some nice soothing music on at home and just creating an uplifting environment at home. And I do know that all of us are affected by this epidemic or pandemic in our own unique personal ways. And this has been on my mind, this has been on everyone's mind. So just a lot of, thoughts are coming through me that I thought I can share with you. And I would love to just really have a conversation so we can kind of have a context as to what I'm talking about. So feel free to put your questions here in the comment section that we can have a conversation about. So in any and I'm going to kind of, I thought about what really is the need here right now. What is the need? So apart from, collecting supplies and the hygiene, I'm looking always at the bigger picture and seeing what is the bigger need, why something like this is happening worldwide, and what it is really revealing. And what it really is revealing as to where we have been. And where we have been and where we are. I don't know where we're headed, but I know where we have been and everything within us that needs resolving. So it's very natural when one crisis happens, multiple other crises happen on either community level, global level, or personal level. Just like this, coronavirus has affected everyone in, politically, there is a financial effect, there is a social, there's personal, all kinds of changes are taking place. Things are turning upside down, and many times that's what the process of transformation looks like. And when things are transforming, the old structures are breaking apart. That's the only way the new structures or the new paradigm can be created. And many times when we are in the process, we mistake the process for the end. We think this is the end result. We don't know the end, but I'm hoping it's going to be a much better end. But so we don't want to panic throughout the process. And we are very good at navigating, we're very good at hanging out at the extremes. Actually, that's our we are a culture of extremes. We either go to one end or hit the other end of the spectrum. So what I mean by that is either we become, really panic stricken or totally complacent. The reason we do that in my thought process is because then we are doing something. It's clear as to what to do. But really the answers and the growth comes when we are able to navigate the extremes, and that hanging out in the middle requires that we are mindful from moment to moment, that we become okay when things are not okay, that we are okay with not knowing the answers, that we may not know what the next day looks like. So it's a gray area in between the extremes. And right now we are in that gray field, which is for everyone to navigate this based on their own inner mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic strength and the state. So that can be difficult because we don't know exactly how to handle that. And we have to be okay with not knowing. And I wrote down these points because I thought they would be useful to see what's coming out of this epidemic. And the middle path is what Buddha always talked about. It's all of a sudden I felt like all the teachings, everything we have learned, we need to use them right here, right now. So the middle path that Buddha advocated and he talked about, here we are. We have an opportunity to walk that middle path. And secondly, we have, we are intellectual beings, so we handle everything with the mind. We plan, we control, we want to know what we're doing tomorrow, we want to know exactly what's happening, we want to know when and where and how. Well, we are in an uncharted territory because we don't know what tomorrow is going to look like. Frankly, in the last week, things have changed from one day to the next quite drastically. And so we're not in control. There is no planning. They're just being aware moment to moment and just kind of understanding what needs to happen today, this hour, and what am I doing the next hour, the next hour. So we kind of have to get out of the way and follow our inner voice, our inner intuition, or tune into the flow of life at this time and just simply follow, okay? And as we're playing, everybody's kind of playing with words and becoming creative. So when I look at the word corona in Hindi, it sounds very similar to karuna, which really means compassion. And I don't know if it is so or not, but I'm thinking instead of looking at coronavirus, which makes us fear-stricken, perhaps we give it a name, karuna, which means compassion. Perhaps we need to look at these times with a lot of compassion. And that's that really is the need of the time. When we don't understand with compassion, we misunderstand the times. So it is really important that we are compassionate, especially for ourselves, for others, however they are handling this crisis, and especially compassionate for those people who have been affected, people who have died, and their families who are mourning the loss of their loved ones. So there's a tragedy happening all across the world. So deep compassion for those people who are actually going through, who are actually so severely affected. And then especially people who are in the health business, doctors, nurses, hospitals, people who are providing us day-to-day necessities. I went today and, bought some groceries, and people who are working at the counter, so they have to wipe their hands and wipe the surface, and so many people are coming and they have equipment, they have the cash register that they have to keep sanitizing. So it's really compassion for ourselves and compassion for the whole world. And let's shift our mindset to compassion, no judgment, and just compassion. Tune into our heart and allow the compassion to flow. And another thing that we have been asked to do is spend some time, because now we do have the time. Restaurants are closed, social gatherings are stopped. So nature is asking us to stop and be silent, be still. In the silence and the stillness, we can hear our own voice. In the silence and stillness is where we can truly see. In the silence and stillness is how we can access our own truth and access that part of us which is non-physical. And many answers come when we are still and silent. And another next thing that I thought is needed, that we've been running in the external direction. We've been running fast, and we're running. Turn the light back on, and we're running. We've gone so far away from the source of our life, from our true essence, from our truth. We are trying to find something on the external world which cannot be found, and can only be found when we change the direction inward. So now, with all the time and space that we have been given, here's another thing that we are asked to do is reverse the direction, change the direction, go inside of you, go beyond the physical, go into the mental, the emotional, go into the energetic, go into the spiritual by asking the bigger question. By asking bigger questions, we're going to be able to find answers on our smaller questions. We're going to get the answers that day-to-day living on how to live under these circumstances, and how to live with this epidemic. And, we take life for granted, and it's never so clear. That message and that knowing is never so clear when so many people lose life. So really remembering that life is a gift. The fact that we have our health is a gift. The fact that we have homes to isolate ourselves in is a gift. The fact that we have jobs that we are able to serve is a gift. The fact that we have so many conveniences, comforts that we have accumulated, that is a gift. Is to understand that more than half of the world, I think, don't have what we have. So it really brings that reality very home, that whatever we took for granted, within matter of a day, minute, and hours, it changed. When you go outside, the energy is very different. The environment is very quiet. There's stillness. So I don't want you to get afraid of that stillness and saying, oh my God, it's the end of the world, what's going on? Really savor it. Enjoy it, feel it. Look around, be present. One of the things I do is like, wow, this is Tuesday, March 17th, 8 p.m. Look at what we are discussing. And look at how we are discussing this. you know, it's just amazing to me how we are always taken care of no matter what happens. Now, when all the physical distancing, look how we are able to connect. So if this is one reason to be grateful for technology. How we can connect through, Facebook Live here with so many people. So that, I'm really being aware of these gifts that we have, because all of this can be taken away. Life is that fragile, life is that delicate, and that's why it requires our sensitivity. It requires that we are conscious from day to day, moment to moment, and we live mindfully, that we don't live like robots. We don't, look to somebody to tell us do this, so we just do it and we don't want to think about it. We do need to think about it. We need to pay attention. We need to become more aware. Hey, hi Maria, thank you so much for joining. I see a lot of people. There's Jay, there's Jeffrey, and Laura, Arjun, Manoj Kumar, Asha, Bhai, Maria Carbonell. Thank you so much. Hello, hello. If you have any questions, if you have anything to add, any insights to add, please join in and send me a comment so we can have our conversation. And there's, when I keep, talking about the bigger picture, the infinite, I just rather just say God. So when I say God, I'm talking about that which is generating, organizing, and destroying. That power, that force. So you can fill in your thing, your person, your DT, whatever that may be, that doesn't matter. It just, what I'm alluding to is that there's something bigger than you and I. Obviously, there's something bigger than that's happening. So if it is, you want to, look at teachings of Buddha, teachings of, Krishna or whatever, there's been so many enlightened beings whose messages and words and their teachings are really, really useful today. And even like Christ consciousness, it's the message here is to connect with the heavens. Connect with that, the higher truth. Connect with the love. Connect with divine love. And opening our heart to a full spectrum love, which does not kick anything out. Because we haven't understood love. We definitely have not understood fear, because what we have done is push the fear away. That which feels uncomfortable, we push it away because we don't want to deal with it. It's very natural to do that. But what we create is we actually create more of it. When we push fear away, it escalates. And when we look at the fear as the energy of the fear, so energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transmuted. So when we resist any energy, we give it greater force. We give it greater momentum. So what's being asked is that we open our heart. We flow the negative energies. We flow the dark, fearful energies into the one flow of love. And become full spectrum human beings who are not just, locked in the head and pretending to be a body without the emotional, the energetic, and the spiritual. We are integrated, a dynamic being. We're not just the body. There's a lot more here that needs to be understood and experienced. So it's asking the question, why? What is this here for me? And in every curse, there's a blessing. Okay, this is a polarity world. It really depends on how we want to view it. And my intuition and my belief is, and my personal experience has been that when the challenges come of any kind or of any magnitude, you're being asked to grow. You're being asked to go inward and grow and evolve and become more and more of your potential. And that's the flow of life that I'm talking about. So we kind of step into the flow. So, and it is hard for us to do. This is a difficult thing for us to do because we are in here, we're in our heads, we orient the life mentally, which is, limited. We have limited resources that way. So this is difficult to know. It's difficult to let go of control. It's difficult to step aside. And that's exactly what needs to happen, I believe. It's difficult because it needs to happen. If we had already learned it, we wouldn't need to learn it again. So it's really dropping into the place that's bigger than the head, is your heart. And operate via the heart, allow the mind to operate via the heart, and then see through the heart's eyes. And allow that space that's untouched for many of us, and you're going to get a lot of answers that way. You're going to feel a lot of compassion, humility, softening, and that's how we get out of the way. That's how our ego gets out of the way. When we get out of the way, we can see what's really happening. Okay? And what also came to me is like how we have minimized a lot of our distractions. So when we minimize all the distractions, what's left is the very basics. So we're being asked to, naturally, we will begin to align with nature. Go to bed early, get up on time, and, eat your largest meal. Eat the lunchtime at home or sitting or cooking it. And cook the meals instead of always going out to restaurants. I think just because we're going to be cooking at home because the restaurants are closing, I think that's going to bring more health to all of us. So that's a good thing. We're asked to, pay attention to our people who are living in the same home and getting to know one another. Most importantly, getting to know ourselves and just looking through who else has joined. Hello, Jyoti, Laura, Shabana, thank you so much for joining. If you have any questions or comments, please put it in the comment section, just so we can have a conversation. Hi, Richard. And so the next point I had wrote is that, connect with the source of life. So we have three centers, the navel center, heart center, and this center, the head. We kind of hang out here. It becomes very difficult to navigate this mysterious life with the head. So it's learning how to drop into the center, which is the source of our life, our navel center, in a way so our insecurities are grounded and we have more available to us on how to live. And we spare the head. That's how we reduce stress. That's why yoga, pranayama, and movement is going to become really a great ally during this time. And you don't need to go to the gym. There's a lot of things online, and so take advantage of that. And what else? So what I want to do at this point, unless there are comments or questions, is have an experience of what it feels like to de-intensify the fear or de-intensify what's going on in our mind and how to do that and gain an experience. So what I'll do is I'm going to guide us all through a short meditation. And I did a community meditation on Sunday. It was a much longer meditation. There are many, many meditations, but it's on my podcast. I'll put a link on above the video so you can go and access that meditation. There are many blogs that I have done also about anxiety during this time, and feel free. The resources are there for you. And what I also have done is put together a special group sessions. I really believe there's a need for us to connect, and how we can connect is, thank God for technology. We can connect via online. And I think connecting, inspiring each other, uniting, and is going to help us a lot to navigate these times with much more ease and coming out on the other end much stronger. So I think that there's a dire need for that. And so for that reason, I have put together special group sessions for 5 weeks. I'll be offering 2 sessions per week, an hour each or however time it takes, and really paying nominal fee of say $5 per session, because I'm realizing that, financially we are going to have to retrain our mind. It's possible many of us will have to retrain how to look at the finances as money in a different way. We may have to be more mindful of our spending and navigate that. So it's just $5 per session that you can log in live online, where I can help you deal with the fear, deal with anxiety, and deal with stress, and deal with everything else that is showing up. Personally, I think for many people, the memories of other traumas and that hasn't healed has shown up during this crisis. And that's what happens. Anytime when we have one crisis, all of a sudden from one we have many different kind of crises, and that's exactly what's happening. So, and coincidentally, I've been doing these live webinars since the beginning of the year. And the third webinar is tomorrow, which is healing emotional trauma. And there's no charge for that. And I will also put the link above the video for you to sign up. You kind of log in at 8 o'clock, and it's really understanding trauma. And if that's what your interest is, you like, that's what's coming up for you, please, you can register for that as well. So I'll give you the links and the details towards the end. And in the meantime, if you have any questions or any concerns, put them in the comment section, and I'll be happy to take them up on the meditation. So at this point, go ahead and get comfortable. You can be sitting on the chair or the floor, take a shawl or a blanket so you're comfortable and warm. And just take a minute to close your eyes. Gently tune into the body. Just lean into your hips. Allow the hips to become heavy. Allow your legs, feet to become heavy and relax. Lean into the back. Relax the back, relaxing the shoulders. allowing the belly to relax, chest to relax, relaxing your neck, your jaw, facial muscles, and your forehead. So just simply notice what there is to notice from your toes all the way to your fingertips, and allow the body to be as it is. Check in with the activity in your mind and allow the mind to be as it is. Go ahead and bring your attention to your breath above the base of your upper lip, below your nostrils. Noticing your inhale and your exhale. On the inhale, you may notice cooling influx of air through your nose. And on the exhale, you may notice touch of warm, moist air at the base of your upper lip. See if you can hear the sound of your breath. And noticing the movement of the breath in your body, movement in your chest, your ribs, and perhaps your belly. Notice the rhythm of the breath, how each inhale is seamlessly joining the next exhale, and each exhale is seamlessly joining the next inhale. So when we tune into the sound, the movement, and the rhythm of the breath, we are breathing consciously. With each conscious breath, settle into your body a little more. Now go ahead and with the next inhale, you're going to direct the breath to your belly. Place your hand on your belly if you can, if you like. So as you expand the belly into your hand fully on the inhale, and on the exhale, end of the exhalation, gently pull the belly in towards the back as you exhale. Again, inhale, you're directing the breath to the belly, let the belly expand. The breath is also lengthening all the way up towards the top of your head. And as you exhale, you're emptying the breath, end of the exhalation. Notice the belly from the periphery is moving into the center. Again, as you inhale, just paying a little bit more attention to the belly. Just notice the belly expanding fully forward from front to back, sideways, up and down. So really all the dimensions, all the nooks and crannies of your belly, fill it up with your breath. As you exhale, bring the breath back to the center. Again, continue, inhale, direct the breath to your belly, let it expand. And exhale, end of the exhale, notice the belly moving towards the center from the periphery. Go ahead and continue with this belly breath. And with each breath, ease into your body a little more. So what you can do daily is breathing into the belly. That's the source of life. That's the navel center that we can develop simply by bringing attention to it and breathing into it. As we do that, you'll notice that the energy from the head has moved down into the belly. You're feeling more grounded. Let your hips, legs settle a little bit more. Very good. Now just slowly move up. You're going to move into the heart. Gently drop the mind into the heart. And what I also like to do is have you visualize a motherly or a fatherly hand at the back of the heart, in the center of the shoulder blades. And feel the warmth of this hand. See if you can trust the presence of the hand there and just gently lean into it so you can open the front of the heart a little bit more. Breathing into the heart. And as you're breathing into the heart, just noticing what's there. This may feel uncomfortable, but that's what we are here to learn, is to be comfortable with the uncomfortable, or at least to be okay with the uncomfortable. Become aware of what it is that you are experiencing during this time. Is it fear? Is it feeling powerless? Is it anger? Is it frustration? What else is showing up for you? Whatever the theme of our life is, whether it's being victimized, feeling abandoned by love, isolated, not good enough, I think all of that experience might heighten during this time, because the external will remind us of the internal, that has not been addressed and healed. So it's all good. Just simply notice, become aware of what it is that's showing up for you. Prior to this epidemic, have you experienced those things before in your life? And perhaps in other areas of your life, whether it's to do with your health, your career, your relationships, your family, whatever it may be. As difficult as it may be to become aware, just simply allow yourself to feel what you feel. No judgment, not making it wrong, not making it right. Just being the observer and allow yourself to experience what you experience. And acceptance is next. Accepting that this is your current experience. So not accepting it with the head, but actually experiencing the acceptance in your body. Can you simply get out of the way? Can you see this pandemic for what it is and accept that this is what it is? And the next part is to open your heart to it. Not opening your heart with the mind, but opening the heart and experiencing that opening. So just simply have an intention of an open heart, just like you would open your heart to someone you dearly love. When you set the intention to open the heart, you allow the energy to flow. The fear is ready to know this energy of love. That's how we transmute or transform the negative energies. We merge them into love. So remember, like I said, energy cannot be destroyed or created. It can only be transmuted. So the freedom lies in our heart. The freedom lies in the love. You are the freedom train. You have the ticket to the freedom train. So free your dark, negative energies into the energy of love by simply flowing love to your fear. This is how we become full spectrum beings. This is what holistic beings mean. We look at the whole big picture. We don't kick anything out. We don't judge the darkness. We don't run away from it. We don't push it away. We don't kick it out. We open our heart to it. We open our heart to all of life. Continue to open your heart, and you may even perhaps appreciate that how this challenge, how this crisis has allowed us to connect with the deeper parts of ourselves. How this crisis has allowed us to love those parts of ourselves which are full of fear, which we have abandoned and kicked out. So we cannot become whole if we pick and choose as to who we are. We become whole by including all that we are. To feel the full spectrum of emotions is our humanity, is what we are made up of. So continue to open your heart. See if you can find a silver lining in these times. I found many. See if you can find one or two or three. That's the appreciation. That's the gratefulness. That's the trust that whatever happens, happens for our higher good. That's how we expand the trust. The greatest fear asks that we trust. Okay? So trust, and we continue to apply this technique throughout this time, morning, evening, any time you can think of. So when you become fearful, don't react. Do nothing. The hardest thing to do is to do nothing. That's what we have to learn to do. When you feel fearful, feel uncertain, you don't know what's happening, close your eyes and sit silently and apply this same technique. So we went through become aware, awareness, allowance, acceptance, and appreciation. Now the next was application, to apply this technique every time you have the feelings that you don't like. And the next step is anchoring in love. When we continuously apply this technique to all of life's challenges, big or small, we anchor in love. Ultimate, the teachings of all the enlightened beings, all the sages, have to do with love. That's why there's so much fear that has pictured out. What we see, the virus has the structure of fear that's catching momentum. And more than anything, more than the virus, it's the fear of the virus that's coming in our way. So Now we see it. We cannot heal what we don't see. Now we see the fear. It's ready to know love. How do we love? Whose love it needs? It needs your love, my love, all of our love. It needs that we open our heart. It's asking that we expand our trust, that we become fifth dimensional beings, not just stuck in the physical realm, that we connect with the heavens, that we yield to God, G-O-D, generating, organizing, destroying force, fill in your blanks, that we begin to unite and not divide, that we accept and not judge, that we live with compassion. So these times are asking that we become a beacon of love. Because it's only that which is going to heal. So gently open your eyes and hello Barb, hello Jeff, Tammy, Donna, Rachna, thank you so much for joining. Martina, good to see you here. So I'm going to take my microphone off, but actually I don't need to. I can't hear you guys. So if you will, at this point, gently open your eyes and just, notice your experience. How do you feel? You don't have to understand everything. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying. You can disagree with all of it. But I want you to just tune into how does the meditation feel. If what I'm saying is resonating with you, take what's resonating with you, throw away in the garbage what doesn't. Hopefully you will find one little thing that has lifted you up today. And if you have any questions, again, please put them in the comment section below. I'll be happy to address them. And the video will be here so you can listen to it again if you enjoyed my insights. I will post links to the other podcast that we did 2 days ago. There's a much longer meditation there. That's available. There's many other meditations on my website as well. And I will post details on the special group sessions that I will be offering for a 5-week period starting next Monday. 2 sessions per week for 5 weeks. You pay $5 nominal fee. And these are group live online sessions that you join. We come together, we listen to one another, we support one another, we unite with one another. Whatever I have in my pocket, I pull it out and I share it with you and make it useful for you, help you along. So I really think that that's needed. So, we have the time now. Many of us are home, not working away from home. So use this as a time to learn these higher teachings that are available to us. So we're living in the time where we don't have to suffer. The teachings are available. Our biggest suffering is from our mind, is our biggest suffering of any challenge, epidemic, pandemic, is how we view it. This is a time to understand that we can choose to view it in a different way. Why? Because that's going to serve us. If we look at it with the eyes of fear and dismay and resist it, we're only going to escalate. We're only going to make the situation worse. So if we look at it with a different perspective, what is here to teach us? What are we learning? Who you can be during this crisis, we can come out of it at the other end much stronger, much more integrated, and much more whole. So this is serious, but don't take it so seriously. You don't have to protect, you don't have to save the world. That's God's work. Okay, we have understood that we really do very little. but save yourself. We're not here to protect everybody, but if you understand, if you can save the internal world, and if you can change your way of being, and if we change our own vibration, if we elevate our vibration, then we elevate the vibration of everybody that we come in contact with. And we don't need to spread the fear. We actually need to expand the love. Okay, so raise your vibration, raise your spirit, do a meditation. If you don't have a meditation practice, I have an audio meditation that you can learn. I'll post many links above the video. A lot of that information is on my website, so please take advantage of that. And tomorrow is a free webinar on how to heal emotional trauma. And it's very timely because for many people, this is a traumatic experience. And I yet have to meet a client who has not experienced a trauma internally in their life, and is really understanding what that is. Many times we don't know what it is, so I'll be digging in detail into that, and please, you can register for that as well. So at this point, I am going to say good night. It's close to 9 o'clock, so get a good night's sleep. Thank you so much for joining. Please share this with anybody else who may benefit from it. You can share the video. Please meditate, calm down, stay calm, trust. It's going to be well. It's going to turn out okay. But just during this time, we just have to raise our energy, take care of ourselves, and trust, and just get out of the way. Do what you know to do and trust the rest. Okay? So love to you all. Thank you so much for joining again. Take care. Reach out if you need any help. And I hope to do these lives periodically throughout this time. See when the next one comes up. And I will see you all at that time. All right, thank you so much for joining, and please come back to the video. I'll have all the links for you that you can use for the information that I talked about. Thank you so much. Good night.